Coach, this past weekend had some schedule changes due to weather, so back-to-back doubleheaders, two very decisive wins, and two little bit tighter decisions that still went your way. So just talk about what you saw from your team this past weekend.
Well, I was just very, very pleased with the way we played. Eastern and Western came in here and played really well. I thought both teams really gave us everything they had, and our kids, responded to the challenge. We had two games that we played extremely well and handled. I think one was a 6-0 win and a 10-1 win against Eastern yesterday, which was a great way to start the day. And then game twos, and both of them were really nail biters. We were behind in both games late and found a way to win them. So our execution was really good in those tight games. We laid down some big bunts to move runners and get them in scoring position. Laid down a couple squeeze bunts that the girls executed perfectly, and then you get Leilana Applin in the batter's box with a runner on second in a tie game, and there's a good chance that things are going to go your way, and luckily it did. So, I thought our pitching staff did another really good job. We did give up, home runs this weekend, but at the same time, we didn't walk people, hit batters and all that, and then give up the home runs. So solo home runs we were able to overcome.
What is this whole weekend performance, as you said, you had some dominant, commanding wins and some really close calls in the end, but you found a way to win each time. What does this say to the rest of the country?
Oh, I don't know. It's just another weekend of softball probably across the country, but it's more importantly is what it says to ourselves and the belief that our team has in each other. That, we were down 5-1 in the seventh on Saturday and came back and won that thing, and I think we only had made one out and scored 5 runs. So I think those are huge confidence boost moments for your team to know that, hey, they haven't gotten us out 21 times yet. We still have a chance, and those are things that teams will build upon. They learn to trust each other, and they believe that their teammates are going to get the job done. And of course, it doesn't always happen that way, but it's never, well, we're down 5-1, we're getting ready to get beat. And we now know, hey, we can go find a way and let's get this done. And those are things that will help you out throughout the year. And like I told y'all, we've faced great pitching all year, and we've seen great competition all year. And to be sitting here with only 4 losses and 26 wins is impressive. It really is. And I guess that's nationwide. If you look at the KPI, which is the new RPI that we're using now, it's called KPI. I think we were sitting at second or third in the country in that number, and that's based on the strength schedule of who we've been playing.
Talk about Cheyenne Floyd's performance, getting 2 wins as a starter and then 1 as a relief pitcher. What does this say about her?
Well, we were very fortunate yesterday to put up the runs that we did so that we could pull her after 4 innings, knowing that Eastern can swing it and we may need her in game 2, and sure enough we did. So that was huge on our offensive side to be able to go out and put up the runs that we did so that we could get her out after 4 innings and then be able to come back with her in game 2. She works. Like all of our players, she's a workhorse. She does what she needs to do to be ready for those type of situations. And they hit her pretty good there in game 2. We had a huge play by Tatiana and Abby to gun down a runner at the plate there in the 6th inning. They had good swings against Cheyenne. They did it. Eastern can hit. They've got some really good kids, and it was a big to be able to. I think we only allowed 3 runs yesterday against them in 2 games, and I think they were averaging over 6 runs a game. So to be able to hold them to 3 runs total was really big, and it may have been 3 solo home runs. I think it might have been, but that's the only thing that we'd like to clean up. But at the same time, they're good hitters and they got it out.
Looking ahead, you have 5 straight road series starting this weekend at West Texas A&M. What must be done to start this trip on a high note?
Well, we got our work cut out for us. It's going to be. It's Angelo State and WT are still really, really good in softball, and it's been that way for a long time. And great tradition, rich history amongst us 2 teams, and a lot of great epic battles over the years. And hopefully we can go up there and match their offense, because they're really swinging it again this year. They got the same 2 pitchers that they had the last couple of years that are throwing it well again, and then they have a freshman that's throwing it well for them as well. So you got two teams that have all the elements to be really good, and we both are. And should be a good series. Supposed to be good weather up there, which is refreshing because sometimes you go up there and it's miserable. But luckily we weren't up there this past weekend. That would have been brutal. But again, it's just Angelo State and West Texas A&M softball. It's two of the best teams in the country. We're ranked 4, they're ranked 3, so in the country, and we're gonna have to go play really good. We had a great series with them last year. I think we lost 7-6 in game 1, and then 5-2 in game 2, and then beat them 10-. I think we had them down 10-1 at one point, and then they came back and made it a closer game. So, and then we had a really good matchup in the regional tournament with them, where we had the lead in the 6th and let it slip away. So, just another great Angelo State West Texas A&M softball series. I mean, it's just it should be a good one. Hopefully, we can go up there and at least split. But to go up there and sweep would be massive. When you look at the Lone Star Conference standings and regional standings, and we're both trying to host a regional tournament. You kind of think, well, probably UT Tyler's probably going to finish in the top 2, so they're going to host a regional. So it's probably us and West Texas A&M that are trying to get that second host site.
Coach, I feel like we sound like a broken record each week talking about how your team faces adversity, whether they're just down late, take an opening series loss, or whatever it may be, and then just battle back each and every time. It feels like. Do you think that is more towards this senior experience, or more just the fact that they're just great ball players?
Well, I think there's no doubt experience has a lot to do with it. Like I've made that comment several times, but they just they don't panic. They trust themselves, but they also trust their teammates, and they don't feel that extra pressure because if I don't get it done, the next kid's not going to get it done. They know that if I don't get it done, my teammate's going to, and it's just we're executing at a high level. The kid yesterday throwing that rise ball, it's a tough bunt situation with her because you pop up bunts with rise ball kids, and Aaron Plunkett did an outstanding job of getting the bunt down and moving the runner to second to allow Leilana to get the hit to score. So, just things like that we're doing at a high level and we're doing with confidence is fun to watch. It's been great coaching this group, and they're reaping the rewards of what they put into this, and I'm just proud of them, and I'm proud to be their coach.
And then, of course, you already talked a lot about the WT doubleheader, but on Sunday you do face Midwestern. What do you expect from that matchup?
Well, Midwestern's another team that is a Lone Star team that doesn't have a lot of wins, but at the same time, they're capable of beating anybody at any point. The Lindemann kid is a really good pitcher, and I think she had a couple of tough losses this weekend, but close games, and they're going to scrap, they're going to compete, and it's what we tell our girls, and this sounds like a negative comment about these teams, but like if we beat them in the first game, we tell our girls, hey, this is nothing new for them. They've lost all year, and they're going to bounce back and be ready to play. It's not devastating. They're used to losing, and that sounds horrible, but it's a positive because they come back and they play hard. I mean, we saw that this past weekend with Western New Mexico, who's only got 6 wins on the season, but they had us down 5-1 in the 7th inning of game 2. So the really good teams, sometimes if they get beat, it really affects you in a negative way. And teams that are used to losing a little bit, they handle it better because it's not uncommon. And again, I know that sounds horrible, but you just you can't take things for granted in the Lone Star. You really can't. And again, the teams with the records that aren't great would probably be middle of the road toward the upper part of a lot of conferences in this country. They're just stuck playing in the Lone Star where we have a really, really good softball team. So, I mean, you look at the number 1 team in the country is the Lone Star, the number 3 team in the country is the Lone Star, the number 4 team in the country is the Lone Star. So when 3 out of the top 5 in the country are valued as, top 4 teams in the country, that tells you how difficult it is to win games in this conference. And I think this past weekend was a testament to that. But at the same time, you go back to Western New Mexico. They got 6 wins. They went out and beat Lubbock Christian on Sunday. So, and they almost beat us. So it's you can't take anybody for granted. We can't take Midwestern for granted. We've got to bounce back, whether we sweep West Texas, whether we get swept, or whether we split. We got to be ready to make sure that we put that behind us and get ready for a Midwestern team who will beat you if you let them.
Coach, you referred to your battles, which WT has always been epic. How are you looking forward to the new LSC schedule where you play a home and away series, but not on this, that you're going to close out this weekend?
Well, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to playing WT 4 times. I'm not looking forward to having to go beat Eastern New Mexico at Eastern New Mexico and Western New Mexico. And it's you look at West Texas, Angelo State, Lubbock Christian, Eastern New Mexico. Those are 4 of the best teams in the Lone Star, and we have to play each other 4 times. On the other side of the division, you're looking at UT Tyler and Oklahoma Christian and Kingsville and St. Mary's. They have to go play each other 4 times. So it's at least it's not the way it used to be, where we had to play 4 games in 2 days against the same opponent, because that was brutal. So at least you get a little break in between playing each other. But I think it's going to be it's going to be fun, in the fact that you're going to get that competition 4 times against those top schools, and then but you also have the other teams that you got to go play 4 times, and you can't let down there again. If you're in our shoes, if they beat you once, and they win the series, is their mentality. So you got to make sure that you show up each and every day and get ready to get after it in the Lone Star. But it's going to be a fun weekend up there. No matter what happens, it's going to be a good weekend. It's always a great atmosphere up there. They're passionate about their softball up there, just like our fans are, and they play great at home. But we have also played really well up there over the years. So it'll be fun.
And you left here with a comment about Abby. Are you happy with her progress now? How she has grown in her stature?
Yeah, Abby she's had 2 really good weekends at the plate, having really good at bats. Hit a huge home run for us against Western New Mexico to get us back in that thing in the 7th inning, and then had a big hit yesterday to, I think, an RBI. Led off the 7th inning yesterday with a walk to get that rally going started. So she's getting more and more comfortable in the batter's box, and her defense is still phenomenal. That production that we're getting, her and Paris Brunesi she's had a really good weekend as well, and getting on base down there in that 7-8 hole with her speed, and had some big hits. I think she had maybe a couple multi-hit games this weekend, and that's going to be huge for us. We get the production out of her. Lauren Dela Cruz with a big double in the Western New Mexico game. So, we had some big weekends out of Leilana, Tatiana McMillan with the huge 3-run home run in the 1st inning after they had taken the lead in the top of the 1st, and we answered with a 4 spot. And we're just doing a lot of good things. Zoe with the big sacrifice bunt, or the squeeze bunt, to win that game against Western New Mexico. So we're just getting production up and down the lineup right now, which is not happened all year, and fortunately that's starting to come back to us again, like it was in the opening weekend, and that's going to be obviously huge for you going down the stretch.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.